meals and coffee and stuff that have to be out of the gallery.
I like your idea of running a cord through there, Sarah.
Yeah, but
Worth a try. That's a simple enough idea.
If we
well,
can
either
put
that or get the internet on a different circuit.
right, that's really the main thing we care about.
But see, that has those landlines plugged into it, so we can't take it too far there because it's got the cables plugged in there.
But we can get a really long cable for that if we need to.
Yeah,
My son-in-law used to
to
make
have
them.
that all the way up at the cash register, but we don't have you'd have to run like a 40-foot cable to get it up there. And I don't know if we'd lose power on the connection with that long. Although it runs from somewhere to get it to where it is.
Right.
So.
But we could get a cable long enough to run it to a different outlet, like around the corner.
We'll take a look at that. Barbara and Sally and I are going to be working on trying to straighten up the mezzanine on Thursday and Friday. So we'll try to take a look at that too.
I think we ought to test it to make sure.
Did you say it was number 13?
Well, that's what Ellen said when she was flipping things back and forth and said, "Oh, that's 13," and that's the one. The microwave light came back on. I knew that was the right song.
Lucky 13.
It's funny. I called after I talked to Natalie. I called to see if she'd figured out what was going on because I was going to go back into town. And she said, well, Sarah, I got a hold of Sarah and she just had me be flipping a bunch of red switches.
Yeah, well, I knew it had to be a red one.
Switches. I didn't realize it was the circuit box when she was talking about a bunch of red circuits.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Well, you know what? I'm glad that I didn't hear my phone. I never could have diagnosed that, Sarah.
Well, good. Right. But, if you don't have power, nothing works.
Do that.
Yep, it's a circuit breaker. I used to flip a lot. I used to burn out a lot of, yeah. Sometimes when I put about 6 things on it at one time, it flips the circuit in the basement. And I have to go down there. So,
You probably have the little screw-in switches and things.
The fuses.
No, I actually the Shenandoah Electric insisted that we put in a better box.
Good.
So they actually came out and put in a better box.
Wow.
But I used to have to go downstairs sometimes at nighttime. I mean, in the morning when I get up to go to work at 5 o'clock and I'd have 2 or 3 things on, and it used to be fuses. And I used to have to go downstairs with the flashlight and change fuses.
Find the one that looks
And
burnt
that
out.
was only about 10 years ago.
At least you didn't do what Arthur's uncle did at his grandma's
Put a
house.
penny in.
Yeah.
The fuse kept blowing, so he put a penny in there.
Yep.
And screwed it down. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
Burn the house down.
who
Yep.
knows what would burn down,
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, listen, we need to get on with the meeting. But
Yes,
Oh, the house burned down?
no, I said at least it didn't, but it could have.
it could have. Yeah, we used to
Yeah.
do that too. We had those kind of fuses. Same thing. Just
We did in the house I grew up in.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know. Erin didn't show up for the marketing meeting, so she may not be available for this either. And if she
Okay.
later, okay. So anyway, thank all of you for coming. So in case I forget at the end to thank everyone. And first on the agenda is the financials. Does anybody have any question? Barbara did send out the report. Any questions, comments, clarification needed? Look how easy this is. This is
I know. Check
I
it
have
off.
a comment.
Yeah.
I have a comment. Sorry, Barbara, are you taping? Barbara, are you taping this?
Yes,
Okay.
I am. I am.
I forgot to remind her. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all.
Barbara, is there anything else that needs to
Okay.
be added to that, or are we good?
We're really,
I
sales.
don't have any questions.
sales have picked up so much that keep your fingers crossed. That's
Yeah.
all I can say.
Yes, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so next
Mhm.
up, calendar. I looked at July today and we will need 41 docent slots if we keep the hours like we have them now. And we have 41, not counting our new member, William Vouchers. So I just needed to check and see if William's going to be ready to be on his own by July. Who's training him? When are
I
his?
had a day with him.
Okay,
How'd he do, Barb?
I think he did pretty well. Yep.
well, I'll touch base with him and plan on him being out there in July. If he needs any refreshers, it'll have to be before then. He might pick up a day in June also. I don't know.
I think that was also a training day.
Okay,
Well, he
Um,
just,
So
Sunday, I think he has to
how
work on,
many is he at? Sorry, Sarah, you're going in and out, or I'm interrupting or something.
Yeah, why don't
just-
we go to the hands rather than just yelling stuff out?
good
Okay.
idea. Yes.
When you say keep the hours that we have, what hours are you talking about?
So we will be open 11 to 6, Sunday through Thursday, and 10 to 8 on Friday and Saturdays with 2 shifts on each of those days. So those are pretty long hours. I think that's good for us from a sales standpoint. And it also gives those that sign up on Fridays and Saturdays only do a 5-hour shift instead of a 7-hour shift. So that might be a little perk for them as well. Sally?
Thank you. How many orientation days has he had? Does anybody know?
I think too.
He said
I think
2. Did I
with you and one-
even? One with Barbara?
Not with
Did-
me.
One with me.
Okay, so 2 with you?
I think he had one with you and one with me.
1 with me?
He said Sally, so no.
I'll have to
No.
find the memo I wrote. Let me see if I can find it.
What I wanted to say while she's looking for that memo is I forgot to tell, I would have found it if I was orienting him, but I forgot to show you the checklist, Barb, Paul, or anybody that we used that I made up like 5 people ago, 5 new people ago. That's a checklist for them to check off and for you to say all the things. So I'll have to get one of those, okay?
Yes.
Show it to y'all.
Barbara?
He was
I'm
scheduled
done.
to work. He was scheduled to work
Barbara,
with Kathy
I'm
Roletter
done.
and Barb Paul. So according to what we set out originally, he has done 2 days. It would be worth checking with him to see how he feels about working on his own. Although there are no June slots open, are there?
Well, if he only did 2 days, he should have one more. And is he going to be part-time?
one
Okay,
day.
okay. So I can send an email and get a feel for where he feels like he is and see if we can get him to double up another day in June.
Yeah, he said from the beginning he could only work Sundays
Okay,
because he's got a full-time job during the week and he's a Seventh-day Adventist, so he's doing church stuff on Saturdays.
okay. Hopeful.
Okay.
Yes, Barbara.
So let me know when he's going to work because I want to go in and talk to him about the overhang. I feel like he should be ready to start on that. If you would, please, Natalie.
Okay, Barb Paul?
I do know, Barbara, that he was taking pictures for measurements when he was working with me on Mother's Day.
Okay. Anything else on the schedule? Okay, I will move on to Shopify. Just want to let everybody know I did another post like I taught people to do, and I posted, I showed 4 things, I sold 3 of them.
Wow.
So, you know, it was nice to have another Shopify order, and Barbara's been regularly doing this. So I'm going to plan to offer this little advantage to people, and I'll offer it to the ones that were already signed up first. And I had picked out 2 dates. One is before the members meeting, which is a Sunday, and that might be good for Mike Riesenberg. And he was signed up for it previously. And the other one is on the 25th, I am working the late shift, so I could come in before that. So I'm working 3 to 8 that night, so I could come in about 11 and probably work with some people. So the more people we get doing it, the better our Shopify is going to be. Jilly? Yes?
Natalie, is that your photo hood upstairs in what used to be the main office?
Nope. That's Oasis photo booth.
Okay. Because I was just wondering if it could be left set up for those of us who don't really have a good setup.
Go ahead, Barbara.
That's Sarah and I put that together, and we intend to leave it there.
Okay.
I think we've said that a couple of times.
So
Well, somehow it got missed and maybe is not communicated to other members.
I think it was in the minutes that have been sent out a couple of times. But I'm pretty sure that a whole lot of members know about it, but now you do, Jilly, and you can use it.
All right.
So let's put it in the minutes again this time. So
Yeah.
folks get on board with getting their things on Shopify. Hi, Sarah.
Okay.
And just one thing about that, there is a smaller frame for taking small pictures, like with jewelry and things that Erin had made, and I haven't talked to her about if we can move that from the mezzanine to the photo booth, so that would give you you know, more of a controlled, smaller space for jewelry, if that's what you're going to try to. But there's all
Oh,
kinds.
obviously.
Yeah. So it's available to all members.
Okay. Because obviously that's why I haven't put anything up there.
Okay. Barbara?
So Sarah, let's remember to talk to Erin before Thursday when we're cleaning up the mezzanine, okay?
Okay. Yeah,
And then,
I'll make a note to
okay.
send her an email.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So next up on my list, I have social media. Barb Paul had a question earlier today, and I deferred it to this meeting. So if you want to just talk about that, about your thoughts, Barbara.
On Saturday, I was downtown dropping some stuff off at Oasis. And when I got back in the car with David, I noticed that there were some people looked like, I thought they were shopping at first. They were a little bit dressed up. And then I noticed it was a photo shoot. And the people were carrying like a Simplicity bag and a yellow button bag and a Lady Jane bag. And I was just wondering, of course, I didn't process all this till we had driven off. Like, is that something the 3 of them maybe went in together with a photographer, or is it was something that Downtown Renaissance was doing to promote downtown? And I just thought, boy, it'd be fun to get to be a part of that and join in when they get a photographer.
Barbara?
No, it's neither of those. I
Okay.
think the 3 of them must have put it together. I always hate being left out of those things. So, you know, I sit in the meetings for the Friendly City Merchants, and I get them Andrea Dona's weekly emails from the HDR, and none of those talked about this photo shoot. So let's do our own. Think of who you want to be paired with, and we'll make it happen. We will not be left out.
I want to be paired with Billy Jacks and Shirley's.
And Bella,
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, the Water Street corner, right?
Why
Yeah.
choose? Why choose? Why don't we just plan to go around in groups of 3 or 4 and just keep going around the whole neighborhood?
No, it gets
Why?
too big. If it gets too big, you're out of your span of control.
No, what is too big about that? Just doing it several times a year with different partners?
Well, let's focus on what we can do right now, and we'll worry about several times a year after we see how this goes and what we learn from it. Go ahead, Barbara.
Well, I think we have our own photographer, so we don't have to hire a photographer.
Right.
We can get
Yeah.
them to do it, so we don't have to hire anyone.
Enough.
And 2, I think what we should do is focus on that audience that we don't have. So that sort of 30-something, audience that's not quite the older audience that we get a lot of, but the group that we want to draw in, sort of the people that have expendable money and good jobs at late 20s to mid 30s. And so if we could find someone, if Aaron had some friends were that age to be the model, then people see like and think it is familiar because, oh, that's someone my age. I could go shop there.
And that's how we should choose the partners too.
well, there we go with Billy Jacks and the popcorn shop.
But
And
does
Bella.
that fit our brand? I would think it would be more that place across the street that the Russian girl, the beauty place.
Simplicity, yeah.
Yeah, we should make sure it supports our brand well too.
Why can't we just do our own? Why do we have to have partners?
Right.
Yeah.
If we get a younger group of people like Barb's talking and have them be the models for just Oasis and not have anybody else with us.
As we expand our audience by having partners, then we expand our partnership and we make there's more of a, it's just one way of doing it. I'm just looking at the value of doing it that way,
Barb,
not the only way.
did you want to
I
add?
just think that I was trying to think of how to partner with the restaurants, and one way would be to sit at the restaurant and have the Oasis bag beside you, or with your friend showing, like, I'm seeing at Billy Jack's, but look what I just got at Oasis. But why should we really get Billy Jack's in on it per se? Because if we're getting Aaron to do our photography, we're not spending any money on this.
Right, but we'd be doing them a favor. And then we're building capital with them.
Yeah, it's a nice thought, but it doesn't really work that way. When we were trying to do our promotion, they didn't want any part of our flyers. They wouldn't put our flyers up. They didn't want to put them in their menus. Simple things that they could have done just to be a good neighbor. So it really,
Why should we go down to their level?
well, we need to worry about ourselves. We need to promote Oasis, whatever we can do to promote our product.
Magnolia's is a great place. You were going to say that, right?
Or Bella Luna,
Right.
do Bella Luna and Magnolia. And I don't think we have to worry, Eve, of not promoting them. We can certainly be sitting in their restaurant, and if they want to say, hey, are you promoting Oasis? We want to say, yeah, hey, but what do you want to do for us? We can certainly sit in their restaurant and take pictures using them as a background.
Yep.
And they will get
I just
promotion from them.
thought I was only talking about the potential value of going into it, telling them what we're doing so they have the chance to,
But we
have the chance
did.
to
We
participate.
did that with our how many steps, back when we were promoting the restaurant month in March. And I don't think anyone was uber nice to us.
Right.
When we
So
were.
Yeah, but we
promoting
haven't
them.
asked them again for,
We're not asking
Favor.
them again. We're not beating a dead horse. We're going to use the KISS, keep it simple, stupid. So we're going to keep it simple. We're not going to make it complicated for ourselves. Jilly, I know your hand is up. What can you
I
help?
kind of like the idea of the Water Street gang though. Bella and Bella Luna and maybe Cuban Burger.
Beyond is always participates in anything we want to do.
Yeah, that's another one.
Luna,
Then they're
as does
natural
Magnolia, as does With Simplicity. So,
That's the right way to go then.
Yeah, right, exactly.
well, anyway, Barb, are you in charge of this? You've got so much input here. I think you must be confused.
No, I'm fine with being in charge of it. I actually have a very photogenic friend who's like just 40 and she would be perfect for doing this. But I'm going to be gone for 3 weeks in June and I don't think I have enough time to squish it in before we get ready to go. So it would sort of be a midsummer thing to do.
That's a good idea though,
That's fine.
because we were saying in the marketing committee how we don't have anything much to push in those months. So.
Right.
And we have more time to plan it.
Okay, Jilly.
2 suggestions. Anna has young friends, obviously. And somebody you haven't thought of she's not one of the older people, but she's not really super young either. And she's a big booster of Oasis, is Danita Alt, the attorney. She spends a lot of money on us. And I'm sure she would help. Maybe be a moderator.
But we are trying to get to those older 30 and 40-year-old.
Well, she's 40 something.
She's older than 40, but
Yeah,
that
she's 40
make that are
something, I
living
said.
down. Pardon me. That live downtown and live in like urban exchange or people that like young professionals. And college kids they don't got a lot of money. And so I think it should be people modeling in their 30s or low 40s, but.
It doesn't have, we want anybody to spend money with us, right? So
Okay.
we,
Barb Paul had her hand up.
No, I was just going to say, well, Anna is lovely for many things. I used Anna as a model with some of Edda's things, but she looks like she's 15. I mean, she's just a little too.
She has friends.
Yes, yes.
But her friends, she brought a friend and her friend looks 15 too.
All right, Barbara Camp.
Anna's gone for the summer. Rule her out.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, she's done. All right. Eve, are you good? Do you have anything else?
let's see how it works and then we can think of how to build on it. Because we don't have to just aim at one target group. We can keep broadening it or going to different sectors.
Okay, I had another social media question. Barb Paul is here and there highlighting our members. And the question came up, do we highlight all of our members? And by all of our members, they have to be willing to submit their own information, photos and info in order to be highlighted. Or do we just highlight the ones who have items on Shopify so we can promote our website? So that's something we could mull around. But again, no members are going to be highlighted if Barb Paul has to go in on her day off and take pictures of their work and fabricate a story about why they do what they do. That's not fair. So if members want to be highlighted, they're going to have to be responsible to forward the information. Yes, Barbara.
I think we all know my position is they have to have things on Shopify.
Well, that was my position as well, however biased that may be. But I think it's not hard for them to have things on Shopify. Believe me, they don't have to do very much. Send the pictures in the description, we do the rest. So yeah, there you go, Barb Paul. The people with things on Shopify, bug them for information. I'll be happy to send you whatever you want. And if we highlight the same 5 people all the time, maybe the other 30 will say, hey, how do I get in on this?
Okay.
That was easy. Anybody have any input on that one beside me and Barbara?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Can I
Now, yes,
Can I do
ma'am.
one more thing? Can we somehow really bug people who do have Instagram and Facebook to be better about liking our own things? They don't have to necessarily share it because personally, I don't always want to shove things down my Facebook people's page. That's just me. So I don't always share it. But I do like our things as Barbara or Barb Paul Creations. And I noticed, and this is picking, but I'm going to say it amongst this closed group, our student member, when I highlighted her for graduation pictures, boy, she liked that and shared that, but I've never seen her like another thing on Facebook or about Oasis at all. And it was very frustrating to me. So I know not everyone wants an Instagram, and that's fine. I know not everyone's on Facebook, and that's fine, but can we please somehow get our members to at least go in and like our things
I
as
think,
themselves?
I think like everything else, you're going to have to go one-on-one with them.
Okay.
When you see her, you're going to have to say, hey, can I ask you a favor? Can you do this for us as one of our members? We really need this. Because these blanket emails, they just get lost. They don't halfway get read. And it never pertains to me. So it's, oh yeah, somebody else will do it.
Yeah.
I
I'll
feel
try
like
to do that more.
Well,
best result. And I'll ask my daughter to follow us and like us. I don't have Instagram, but I know Amanda does.
Yeah, my niece does that for us too.
yeah. Can I say something?
Allie?
Well, this very statement is a statement that would be an important point to bring up at the members meeting.
Yes.
Very good.
Even though if I type it here and when I type up the minutes, we do that, but we also put that as one of the things to talk about at the members meeting.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. I'm making notes so that I get it. Okay, so we will approach that one. Barbara, I sent Brenda an invitation, but she said she couldn't be at the meeting, so she felt like you knew as much about Paul Klein donations as she did, and that you could lead that and just kind of brief everybody on what's going on there.
Paul Klein's widow, Betty, is moving to Florida. And her family and Betty are cleaning out the house. When they finish that, sometime in late June, they're going to donate whatever is left over of Paul's work to Oasis to be sold for the benefit of Oasis. So then we will have Paul Klein's work, we'll have Roy Roberts, we'll have Gerald Stump and Charlie Tibbetts. So I'm pushing that we get those formally inventoried the way Sarah and I did for Roy Roberts. And Sarah's thinking about better ways to to store
Play.
them so that they have a permanent place. They go in and out of that permanent place and aren't stacked up the way it's happening up in the office now. So.
What about having a show for all of the people that have donated their art to Oasis? Just have one show, January, March, whatever.
Good idea. We'll
I'll add that to the member meeting list because
Okay.
Brenda also asked me to share that, to be thinking about shows for the next year between now and the members meeting, because she wants to get moving with offering those spots to other people as well, non-Oasis people. So yes, we will share that at the member meeting. I think that's a great idea, Ellen.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else on that?
Yes.
Eve, yes?
Number one, I think it's a very, that's a good publicity story in itself. The fact of these donations, that's very interesting. And you can really make a meal of that. That could be a press release that goes out to quite a wide region just because it's kind of an interesting story. And it's a real good backup for the story of Oasis. And number two, by putting it out there in that way on our social media and at the members meeting, there is the potential that other people will have art to donate. I have a lot of my mother's things that I don't have room for anymore. So I think that might give somebody an idea. Number three, an artist teacher friend of mine forwarded me YouTube about a very cool way an inexpensive way to make a storage for paintings, safe storage for paintings. So I can pass it on. I'm thinking Sarah Locke here. This is, it just takes a little bit of ingenuity, but it doesn't take welding or anything like that.
That's
So
great.
we got
Thank
a
you.
lot of space in the basement, so.
We're good, because I've been looking on YouTube today about some ideas, but
Oh, well, then I can talk to you about that.
good. All right.
That's me done.
Okay.
And
Ellen?
the other thing, I'm sorry, just to say that the people that have donated the art, or the families of the artists, we could ask them specifically to share their, contacts and whatever, and invite them to be, like, make a big deal of the opening of the show and ask them to share that with their churches and their whatevers. So Eve's right, it is a good opportunity.
And their personal stories would, little
Yeah,
anecdotes.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So Ellen, do you want to talk about your idea for the jury committee? Our needs there.
I'm just, I think that we have had some, per Sarah and Barbara, we have had something in place that, but I wasn't aware of it, is that we have a standing jury committee, and then we go out and ask other people in the membership to comment on specific applications. For example, jewelers would be asked to look at the jewelry, and potters, the pottery, and so forth. So I think it's important that you have a jury of your peers for that, and the latest application was a perfect example of that. So I'm gonna suggest to just adjust the jury process to be, ask other people to join in when necessary, and we'll just go from there. And then also the timing, I think we talked about this before, but if I'm there every third Monday, just have everything there by that date, and then I can look at it, take photos, send it to the right people, and I don't think we should limit our, I've applied to galleries and they've said, well, they meet every 3 months. So, getting the person back their thing within a month is fine, but we'll shoot for 2 weeks after the jury, after the third Monday. So,
Barbara?
So I will revise the application to say that the jury process will start every third Monday, and we'll leave it a little bit open-ended,
that sounds great.
Is there anything else on the jury process that you want to change on the application?
I made a copy and I'm going through the whole jury thing and doing revisions, and I'll send it to you when I finish and you can edit that.
Okay,
How's that?
okay. And then Barb
I
Paul,
thought more specific, I think that more specific guidelines on jewelry, wearables, things like that can go either way. Like jewelry, I don't think, I think that it should be genuine, even if it's glass, if it's supposed to be glass, but no fake plastic pearls, no, fake stones, no ugly shit.
Tell us how you really feel there, Ellen.
Okay.
Is that how you want to put it in there?
yeah.
Per word?
Well, I'm sure Barbara will fix it up for me.
Yes, Barbara.
The other thing that we need to really document is the business about beads. And I will resurrect that wording for you. So Sarah gave it to me, but we've never written it down, and I think we should write it down.
Yeah, I started on that too, with no pre-made components, and I've got a good start on it. So I'll get that to you guys, and I'll just send a copy to everybody, and you can give your input. We'll revise the form. How's that?
Sure. Sally?
So I'm getting the idea that this latest bead person was not accepted, was not juried in, is correct?
Correct.
Someone?
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
I didn't know. Okay. Okay.
All right. So we're good on that? All right.
Yep.
The next topic, pillar, the math bit. It's not going to be easy for us.
Yep, the math.
This is not going to be easy. I think it's going to be more difficult now than it was in the beginning when everyone was so worried. Now everyone is done. They're just done. And they're
Well,
done.
the governor is opening the state on May 28th.
I know.
So I think masks are going to be optional at that point.
And my thought, although I'd like us to continue to ask people to wear masks, we also, everybody's done. Everybody's got a hair trigger right now. And we don't want to chase customers away by being so prude about making them wear masks. It's hard to find this balance. So,
Well, you know what? You can put a mask on if you're worried about it. And I think Barbara had a good point when she was in the gallery today. She said, when there weren't anyone around, we took the masks off. And when there were, and especially if people had masks on, that's important to them, you wear a mask, So I think we can figure it out.
Barbara?
The governor is still requiring masks for face-to-face retail. So, this is going to be a policy we probably are going to change week by week, maybe even day by day. Andrea Dono just sent a big note about it, and I'll forward it to all of you if you want to see it. But I would recommend, and I will say that almost all of our downtown neighbors are putting on their Facebook pages that they're still asking people to wear masks. They have done it in a very nice way. And I think for right now, for this week, why don't we do the same?
Mhm.
Next week, it
Sounds good.
could be different. Next
Right.
week could be different.
Barbara, didn't you already put it on Facebook, or did you wait until this meeting? Barbara,
Me? No, I didn't.
can you hear me?
I did, I hear you. I didn't put anything.
Okay, you didn't. It was just, okay. Remember how you quoted to me something, someone from downtown had put something really nice on their Facebook page?
Yes, yeah.
I mean, I think if we can do that, like you're talking about, plus also maybe just do I saw something, was that say, I know you've been vaccinated, but we need to think about other people. So something at the door, something nice on the door also. Because I saw something just 2 days ago where they were just asking people to consider all those people around you and whether they're comfortable with you not wearing a mask. So something like that. And I think you're right, it should go on Facebook, the Facebook page. I don't know how to do that, or I'd volunteer.
Eve?
In
I'm
addition,
done.
in addition, can't we
You?
can't we accomplish a lot with population control? You know, how many people we admit. We've got we're lucky enough to have a big space and a door that's open. And can we lean on a policy of how many we admit at one time?
150. So if there's ever more than 150, we probably should.
Yeah, but that's the fire marshal. But we can have a COVID transitional
I
limit of our own.
This is a good time for that. And my other concern, I mean, I am a mask person. I am pro-mask. I would like people to keep wearing the damn mask. Everywhere I went this weekend, I was the only customer with a mask, and I really was not happy about that. But anyway, people who have decided that the CDC said, so I'm not wearing a mask anymore, they're not going to have them. You know, if I decided I wasn't going to wear a mask anymore, I wouldn't carry one. So I'm thinking that maybe we need to pick up a box of disposables and have them at the door and say, would you please? Yes, Barbara. Yes.
I picked some up today and they're
I knew it. See, I think of these things and you guys are one step ahead. That's awesome. So yay. That was heavy on my mind. Like, we're going to have them.
So are you thinking that we are going to ask people to mask up?
Well, like you said, week by week, but yeah, for right now. And
I think some of our docents won't come if we're not careful. You know?
Yeah, and what about the hand washing thing? Because that was what most people had masks today, but the hand washing thing didn't happen, and I didn't know whether to say something or not, you know, or the
sanitizer.
Just put up a sign that says, please sanitize.
oh, we have it.
it's there.
We have.
Well, then that's
Sarah,
all
you need to
can
fill
do, really,
the thing.
other than
Thing
remind
here.
them.
I'll fill it. I know how to fill it.
Good.
Yes,
I'll fill it.
Yay!
I've been doing it. I haven't been
I'll
doing
fill
that.
it tomorrow when I go in.
I usually remind them when they come in, you know, please sanitize. Thank you.
Free hand sanitizer. Help yourself, please. Barbara Paul.
So I'll come up with something. I thought Agora did a nice job doing one, and you know, they're a large space like we are. Lady Jane did one that was nice, but she had it more geared because she's so small in her space. But I thought Agora's, you know, has a wide open, large space, and they're still asking people to mask as well. So, you know, I'll say something like, even though things are changing quickly, you know, and many of us are vaccinated, we ask that you still wear your mask and think about others. And
In consideration for everybody.
Right.
That's where we need to be
right.
Yeah.
and hope for the best. Anybody else on the mask policy? Okay, what about the first Friday piece?
Look at
Any
all my
thought?
men. Yes, I wonder if I have a thought.
Okay,
Go ahead, Sally.
I can't remember what I wrote to you though about First Friday, except that I wrote, will the music people be ready to come back? Do you think now that things are easing up a little bit? That would be nice if they would consider coming back. And also then I wondered if we were ready to do, or soon, within the next couple of months, if we were ready to try to do some simple little things like cookies, not those individual wrap things, just cookies with and not the food where everybody stands around and eats up all their dinner at our table, but just some cookies or something like that. Are we ready for that yet?
I think
That's
as
all.
long as we're still asking people to wear a mask, no. But
Okay.
once we are forced to relax that, then I think we could consider very simple snacks.
What
Jill?
about the music?
Oh, hang on. Okay, I don't know. We're gonna have to contact them. I think it's gonna be an individual.
Kelly's got her hand up.
Yeah, Jilly's been trying.
Well, I brought this up, so I think. So my feeling is that I don't think we're comfortable, and I am not comfortable at all with anything even resembling a full-on First Friday until September. That means music and snacks.
Well, I don't know if we can even put any time frame on it right now. I
Not,
think
but at
it's gotta
least.
be a day to day, week to week.
And if we're having any kind of music, I don't think it can be anything vocal. I have not called any musicians because of this. Because I don't think a lot of them are going to be
Okay.
comfortable, because the ukulele people said they were not, and they were our last bunch we had.
All right, so Eve had her hand up first and then Sarah. So go ahead.
Speaking
Eve.
as a musician who most often plays solo, I think it depends very much on the different people. On the other hand, end of the scale are a lot of people who want to get their music out there and haven't had a chance for a long time. So if you're talking about, a married couple duo or a soloist who's just purely instrumental, I think there'd be quite a lot of interest. And I think you'd get some new people that you haven't had before. And I think having some new sounds would be a very good idea. And some younger musicians would be a good idea. So you can,
And
but
you know,
try.
they're up in the balcony. We could put a barrier between, so people don't go and visit.
And I'm with you, Barb Paul.
What?
I don't
I
think we
didn't hear
can
it.
ask people to wear masks and then have people singing.
No, I'm saying not singing.
I know, but I think Ellen was suggesting maybe if we had them upstairs on the mezzanine.
Well, they're very
Oh,
far.
I just meant musicians,
Oh,
that they
okay.
were up there, and,
I
I mean, yeah, it's not, I mean, I meant everybody, it's fine.
Well, it's something that nourishes people without having them, they don't have to take their masks off to eat. They can be nourished by music when we can't offer a lot of other things.
Okay, Sarah's been trying to weigh in on this, so. what you
Okay,
got
just
for us?
Come on, Sarah.
June and July is going to be Brenda Fairweather with her family heat wall show, and I think somewhere she said she had some musicians lined up.
She does. She
So,
is bringing her
so those
own.
next 2 months are set. Those are her responsibility, and she's gonna do whatever she wants to do. And we're clearing the end of the mezzanine because she's going to incorporate the whole mezzanine in her show, except for
Wow.
storage area in the center part. So we're cleaning up the kitty art space for a little while and trying to reorganize all the supplies and getting that behind pro panels so that Brenda can use both sides of the mezzanine for the heat wall resident or family show.
Yeah, she did ask me about a musician. I had forgotten about this. Duh. And she did ask me if she could bring her own musician that was a family member who plays, I believe she said guitar and recorder. And I said, it's your baby, you run with it.
Right. So she's
And
taking care of those
So
2 months.
she is providing music for June and July. But what I was saying about First Friday is that I'm not comfortable with a full-on First Friday until at least September. I will see what I can do about something for August, however. Maybe Eve would like to play.
What do you mean? How do you mean a full-on First Friday?
With music and food and all that kind of thing.
So
We
do
may
you,
be able to have gatherings by then.
I think
Or
the two
not.
are,
but what are you saying, that you can envision a not full-on First Friday, or what?
Yeah, without food, but maybe with music.
Okay.
You know, a half on First Friday by then.
So Barbara Camp, did you want to say something?
yeah, let's not tie food to the music. They're two different things.
Right.
And I would love to see us start getting some music in there. As Eve said, the musicians are desperate to get out. So can't you contact the whole list, Jilly, and see who's ready?
I can, but up until now, we have not been able to have a First Friday, so.
We've had First Fridays for months.
We've had them. It just, they haven't been well attended.
But we have been there.
Yeah, we have First Fridays.
But a lot of people just haven't been wanting to come out.
Um,
so.
Well, let's
Well,
see how our
maybe-
musician friends feel.
Well, it's kind of a double-edged sword. There's not much to do, so they don't come out, so we don't do anything, and then they still don't come out because there's nothing to do. So, we need to get some activities going to bring people out.
Eve?
Two things. I've been hearing on NPR all day about reports from all over the country of people who are so excited to come out and do things. So with First Friday, we could design something that the more cautious people can still feel safe about. So that could give us an upper hand. We have control over what we offer, so we can be creative about it. And number two,
Okay, sorry.
let me just tell you this. And I was thinking that might be a good thing to put out to the members, to mention at the members meeting, and expand our list of musicians. That's it, Ellen.
I forgot now.
Oh,
See, what happened? What a
We're all
day.
going up there.
Don't come back. Design.
Okay.
Is that it? Design.
I completely forgot. Sorry.
Darn.
Yeah,
We all
it was
got
good. I can
part-timers.
guarantee you that.
I know, it was good. I could tell.
Okay, so next up, members meeting. I have it scheduled for June 6th at Brenda's. We will hope for an outdoor event, weather permitting. Brenda and I have been talking back and forth, and we were thinking to offer for a member plus one guest. So that way a member doesn't bring a whole family, because we're trying to keep our numbers down, and so that the member and guest can be, socially distanced, and people won't be sitting by themselves completely. My question to you all is, a member plus one guest, one adult guest, or just one guest? Because
One guest.
Why a guest?
because nobody wants to sit 6 feet away from everybody all by themselves.
Oh,
So, a lot of people in the past have brought their spouse or significant other, or not, maybe not a lot, but some people
Or
do.
their kid.
Well,
Aaron's gonna bring
so
his.
that is my thought. We will have Liz with a kid and Jackson with a kid and Aaron with a kid. And how do you conduct a meeting? I love kids, but I don't know about, I think we need to specify one adult guest if you'd like, or just say members only. So it's not my decision. I'm just putting all of these options out there so that everybody else can weigh in on it.
Let's do members only.
if
Anybody
we're gonna,
else?
if we're gonna call it a members meeting, not a members meeting plus potluck or something, yeah, members only.
It's going to be potluck,
But
but
it depends how we describe it, is all I'm saying.
Huh.
And I think members only is a good way to go. 3 feet apart is acceptable in our public schools. And I'm speaking as one who doesn't mind sitting 6 feet apart from everybody, so I don't know. But it seems like we'd have to be together longer if we bring spouses or significant others.
Yeah, it just complicates everything.
anybody else have a thought? Barbara, you're shaking your head.
I agree with Ellen. I think it complicates things. Let's do members only. I can't imagine the spouses enjoy it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Mine wouldn't come, so.
And we did have one at Brenda's house where Patrick came and he was quite disruptive. Thank
Yeah.
God for Bobby Fairweather.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we will do members only, and I thank you all for that, because I don't want to make those decisions on my own. It needs to be a group.
Yeah.
You shouldn't
that-
have to.
Yeah. And that makes the meeting faster and more enjoyable, and people will come again. So it's a win-win.
Okay, so this was twofold. Go ahead, Barb Paul.
Gonna say, I think if you do make it, and I'm fine with members only, I'm not saying anything about that. I think you should say members only. Somehow say even like no children,
No
because a lot of
children.
people don't consider children as a problem.
Correct. I will gently phrase that
Freedom is
so
a
that
tag
please
along.
no children. Yes.
We all know that children are a big problem.
Yeah, especially trying to get away from them.
Love the honesty. So the twofold part is Gemma is working that day. Now, do we try to reschedule our time a little later and close the gallery a little earlier? Do we let Gemma just join us by Zoom? Because I thought we would try to do Zoom for the business meeting portion. So you think that's sufficient, and tell her she can log in by Zoom? So Eve, your hand went up first. Go ahead.
Well, my opinion is that some members are only going to be able to join by Zoom. I'm just guessing. So I think we should invest in the Zoom portion of it, because I have a
Okay.
feeling you're going to get better participation.
Barbara Camp?
What time were we asking for starting the meeting?
3:30?
Let me call you back, okay? Bye. Why don't we just close the gallery? Other businesses do that.
Yes, for the
At 3, that'll give,
member meeting. Yep.
close it at
Or-
3, and then that gives her a chance to get there.
Yeah, I think it's important that Gemma get to the meeting because she's a new member and, people need to get to know her. But the other thing is that there might be some members that would be very happy to do Zoom and don't really contribute that much. And, so we could throw Ron Landis in there, for example.
Mm.
Ron doesn't know Zoom.
I know, so he can just sit at the gallery and be a
No,
lump like he usually does.
He knows
No.
not the Zoom.
no, I think the closing at 3 is fine. A couple hours is not going to make that huge amount of a difference on June the 6th. It's not like the week before Christmas or something. And we can put a
Okay.
sign on our door, closed for our semi-annual members meeting. That shows good camaraderie between us. as
Yeah,
well.
Yeah, it makes us look
and
like.
good
Now,
we're-
business sense,
Isn't it
like we're a
between,
real business, like we're not just artists.
Yep,
isn't it between school and summer school anyway at JMU? So
I
there
don't know.
won't be anybody around.
I don't know, but I think it's okay. I like it. See what else I got. So we good on the members meeting? I will send out a formal invitation with an RSVP. Brenda has asked that we RSVP by June the 2nd so that they know how much to cook. They're gonna provide the meat, and anyone wishing to bring a dish is welcome to bring a dish. You can eat if you'd like, and you don't have to eat if you'd prefer to bring something yourself or not eat at all. It's very casual, up to the individual. We all know we're breaking new ground here, post-pandemic. So anyway,
Okay.
next up,
Who-
I had something about
Wait a
show.
minute, hold on. Who's keeping track of all? Well, I'm going to bring a corn casserole stuff.
Okay, well,
We've
this
never
is
done that.
called potluck. Okay, so your main dish is provided and the rest is potluck. Potluck means whatever people bring is what there is.
Whatever they
Okay.
bring in the pot.
Yep.
Okay,
Usually works out okay. And if two people bring the same dish, one might like one more than the other. It always works out. We won't make it
great.
complicated. And so I'll have them RSVP to me and Brenda so that we'll try to keep count.
Sounds good.
All right. And Barbara wanted to talk about a JMU student show for February. So we would like to hear about that.
February, traditionally, we do something with a college or students, like the high school students. But I thought maybe we could have Anna organize a JMU student show. And that takes all the burden off us, except those of us who are going to help her or guide her how to do it. Does that sound okay?
I really,
Sounds
Yeah.
great.
yes.
Shall we leave it up to her who she asks and what kind of art she shows?
No,
shall we set some guidelines?
I think we should review it.
If they're art students, I say let them go.
It's
for
an-
it.
Too. Let him go.
Yeah, let them go.
Yeah,
Okay,
we've never reviewed the art student
student shows,
shows
yeah.
before, and
yeah,
and
But that's,
We never reviewed anybody
Anna's,
else's.
Anna's tasteful. She's she's not
that's when a teacher
Yeah.
is in charge of it.
Yeah, right.
We are
Yeah.
asking Anna to
Well,
be in
that's-
charge. Now, I personally think that Anna's got good sense and I can tell her, I reserve the right not to allow you to show nudes.
Right. We can look at things and when they're hanging and if there's something not acceptable. And I think, should we ask Morgan to help her too? Our other JMU?
Well, this is another thing I wanted to bring up. So we could, but
So is that like establishing any guidelines beforehand? The
I
guideline
think
just
we
might
need
be,
to. I think Anna's sensible and will ask if she's got questions.
so you were joking about nudes or were you
I
specific?
was. We
Oh,
have one member who keeps on trying to bring in nudes and he keeps on being told he can't.
Okay, now see, I didn't know there was any prohibition about that. So there is?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, I didn't know that. So do you think she knows it?
I'll make sure she does.
That's a guideline. That's all I was saying. And is there anything else like that? We can think about it.
We'll deal with it as it comes.
Right.
yeah. Be informal, but be sure that you let her know that she's, that informally you're going to run it by Barbara, blah, blah, blah.
Sarah and Barbara.
Sarah and Barbara, sorry.
Okay, whatever.
And it's gonna be Anna's show, not a group. I think it works better when one person is in charge. I really
I
do.
agree. I agree. So, okay, great. She'll be very excited. And I did already reach out to her to see if she would be up for it, and she is. So I'm really glad to be able to tell her that that's been approved. That's
I sold 2 of her prints today.
Nice. Very good.
So can I segue into the other thing? Ellen and I were talking today about student memberships. I made a big mistake with Morgan. I didn't lay out, our application says you don't need to work at Oasis, concentrate on your schoolwork. Well, she has taken that literally and
Oh,
has
yeah.
done a darn thing. I want permission to change the application. I don't want any more of that. We want students to work. That's why we want them. We want to mentor them. If they don't come in and work with us, we aren't mentoring them. So
Right.
I want to take that business about, you don't have to work out of the application. The other thing,
And don't forget the 6 months thing or whatever.
Ellen suggested that we talk about a 6-month student membership
Mhm.
be renewed if, like Anna, we want to keep her. And I don't think we want to keep, but if we made this 6-month term student membership, that will give us, I can have a talk with her about, your 6 months is up, and this is what we are looking for when we have student memberships. And I will try to document what I think we want. And Barb, you got an idea on that?
I'm just wondering if you want to tie it to a semester for them and not 6 months, but a
That's-
fall semester and spring semester. And then during the spring semester, if you feel like things are working out, we're happy to keep their pieces in the gallery during the summer.
That's brilliant.
Good idea.
Brilliant.
Jilly, you want to say something?
Would this also include high school students? Because in the past, we have had high school students from Stewart Hall and EMS. And
No, I don't
know.
think so.
I don't think we've had, not when I've been there, we haven't had.
We've had a high
Yes, we
school
did. We
show.
had Aaron and we had that boy from EMHS whose name escapes.
Aaron
me.
Shaver, you're right. He was a wonderful photographer. You're right, Chili.
Yes, he was. I'm looking at one of his pictures up over my desk right now. And we had a boy named, I think his name was Nick something from EMHS. He was with us for about a semester. And would that also include them?
Yeah. Student
Because-
memberships aren't defined by what grade you're in. So,
Okay,
Right.
okay.
But we do have a limit of 2. So, and I think that the turnaround is really good because, we add variety to the gallery. The students get, if we focus on giving them an intense experience, like letting them work and find out how things actually work instead of hanging their shit up in the gallery and going bye-bye.
Mhm. I don't think they,
Excuse me, sorry, Etta, didn't mean that.
It's funny.
I
I'm
don't
not
think,
feeling well.
I don't think they should necessarily have to cashier, but they should have to maybe do other jobs.
I agree.
Exactly.
Eve?
Then with this approach, we can treat it more like a true mentoring. And then that'll be a good thing to do, but it also adds to our story and our brand of things that we do that we can do publicity about and we can brag about, and expands our market as
Yeah,
well,
that's
our influence.
Awesome, Eve, awesome. Perfect.
Barbara Paul?
I was just thinking though, and maybe we should designate how many hours per semester that they're required to come in or provide services and sort of give them an outline of what that means. Even if it's coming in and helping to clean Oasis, you know, and we're, you know, while a docent's working and they help do some of the cleaning that's required or something like that. But there's so many hours they're required during the semester to come in, or spaced out per month, you know, whatever that is.
I
Yeah.
think with our members, we say approximately 3 to 4 hours a month. I think, so I don't think we can ask for more than that.
No,
Jilly?
How about we change the classification to student/intern membership?
Oh, that's nice.
That way they feel like part of it, part of us. And they're getting kind of an internship.
Well,
Sounds good to me.
why don't we leave off the student part then?
Well, 'cause
Oh,
Just know that,
We
and
could make it an
just make that,
intern membership for student,
and then just make that part of the qualification.
student/intern membership.
Barbara, Camp.
I can see a 50-year-old coming in and saying,
Yep.
want to be an intern.
And
Yeah.
then they'll look at the sheet of paper and they said, oh, that's only available for blah, blah, blah.
We'll make it student intern membership then.
Barbara Paul.
but I just worry about the term internship then requires that, what are you really doing that you're learning how to run a gallery? I mean, if you want them to sweep the stairs, that's not really an internship.
Right. I agree.
Student member then.
Anything
but
by
there could
calling
be
it an
there could be an internship, because when I went to art school, no one taught me anything about the business aspect or how things ran at the gallery or whatever. And so maybe we could offer something like that, which sounds pretty good. And, you know, if someone was really interested, you know, they could be a curator for a show or help with First Friday or do anything like that. I doubt we'd find anybody, but you know, what the hell, right?
That's how internships in Washington and in big corporations work, apparently, you know.
Yeah.
They kind of sling different jobs at you,
Mhm.
Including sweeping the stairs.
definitely.
Barbara Paul.
But we're not one person that they're working for. We're 30 people that they're working for. And so who's going to take them under their wing to be their intern? It's going to be different people all the time. You can't, you know, are they going to have one main person that they shadow or they go to for information?
They're gonna have a checklist.
Yeah, we could appoint an angel for each person, you know, big sister kind of a person. who just
No, I think it is, it sounds like we're taking on more responsibilities than we have to. Let them just come in and, you know, and make it easy. I don't know. An internship is it's serious, you know, you really have to learn something and stuff like that. So we are the ones who are responsible to teach them. So if they don't get taught, then they leave and they're disappointed. So I think we should leave it simple, have them come in, you know, and fulfill their responsibility. So there is some responsibility on their part. And then just let them, you know, learn what they see we do.
I like it.
To me, that sounds, I don't want to teach anybody when I work, you know, and then there's somebody and I have to be so careful what I do and what I say and all these things. I think it puts a lot of responsibility. So I'm against it. Sorry.
Sally. Sally.
No, I'm sorry, I was asleep. No, I'm teasing Netta. I think you're right. I don't think we should put internship by it. And if the person who's coming in 3 or 4 hours a month is really, really interested in the business aspect kind of thing, they're going to ask you. They're going to ask you questions like that. If they're just there because somebody told them they had to come in and be there for 3 or 4 hours a month, they're just going to just come in and hang out or say, what do you want me to do? But if they're really interested in the business, they're going to ask questions, I think. But I'm done.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Really?
So in essence, we're gonna treat them a
I'm
little bit
done.
more like our community service people.
Now we're going to treat them like student members, like we've been treating them. And the ones that show interest and work a little harder are going to reap more benefits, as well as
Anna.
us reaping more
Well,
benefits
I have
from their membership.
been that
Anna's
way
doing
kind
a
of with our
super job.
community service people, because some of them have been very interested in what's going on. So that's kind of what I meant, you can have them sweep the stairs and you can tell them what's going on.
Barbara Paul.
I just think Anna's a perfect case in point. I mean, she does so much for us. She's so involved. She does the farmers market on her own. She has the initiative to be this wonderful student member. So I don't know why we have to call it anything different.
Barbara?
Let me just say that Anna is in a special category. We get her through the federal work study program at JMU. So she is getting paid for some of her hours by the federal work study. Never mind, she is a wonderful model for what we want.
And
Really,
my
sorry.
experience tells me that she is going to be the exception to the rule. This kind of student membership comes along hopefully more than once in a lifetime, but not as often as we would like it to be. So we can offer space, and who knows, we might find another one like this in the near future.
Well, it's good that we offer, right?
Yes,
We
and
are-
there are good people out there. And the work we're doing like this, helping to define what we're looking for and what our standards are, is going to help attract the right kind of people.
Anna is
Yeah.
much more of an intern, actually.
But we all agree that if we get another student, that they need to be working.
Yeah,
Is that correct?
yes.
Absolutely.
Sal?
I know that we're going to be leaving soon, this meeting, I would think, but I think that if you guys have anything, if the 6, 7 of you have anything that you want us to bring up at the members meeting, that was one of the things we were going to try to discuss is if you guys had anything that you wanted to be sure that the members know about, since we're not going to keep the conversation going for a long time here. Perhaps you could email Natalie and myself so that we can put that in the members meeting, because we want to hear what everybody wants out of that meeting. And so we thought we'd start with you guys. So that's my thoughts.
Well, I think that's good because we could be here for a long time.
I'm done.
Figure that out.
Yep.
So email, yes, and please think about it seriously and see what you can offer that might be a good topic for the member
Can you
meeting.
guys hear me?
What?
All right.
Sarah?
I was wondering, should we divide up the membership list like we have sometimes, and actually call people and find out if they're coming to the members meeting to get our
Yes,
number for the June 2nd for Brenda? 'Cause
I think that's really great. And we should call them and remind them as much as possible.
Yeah, if somebody could just break us up into like 5 or 6 people, however many it is, if you divide the membership and just send us all a list of the people
do
we
it.
contact,
I'll
Okay.
do it.
Okay,
and then we'll be.
Thank
getting
you, Barb. You're quicker than I am.
Are there nine of us?
10.
And
Can,
Oh, Aaron,
that won't be just a couple each then, 2 or 3 each.
yeah, great.
Right, that's manageable, so.
And we can call them until they respond. So
Right.
we can get some answers.
yes.
Well, and if they're not coming, maybe get some feedback from them as to what they might want to contribute to the meeting if they can't come.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Natalie, if I send you, I'll do the list. If I send it to you, do you mind sending it back out to us and let us know like what we should say? The date, the time, Zoom meeting, not Zoom meeting.
Just like some bullet points, yeah.
Yeah, what we need to tell them.
Sure thing. Anybody else? Porcelain Painter Show?
Yep. It's a 2-day show and she's coming in, I forget what day, but I'm going to meet her and she's bringing some friends in to look at the space and get her ideas. And we'll try to get the schedule nailed down a little bit more tightly. You know, when we first talked about it, they wanted to have a big day of demonstrations and painting, teaching people how to paint. I don't know if they still want to do that. So I'll let you know.
Okay, keep us posted. Anything else?
yeah, I hadn't heard about the porcelain painters before. What's the background on that?
This is a Virginia group. I forget their exact name. Maybe Sarah remembers it. They asked to use our space in, it was 2020, right? And we had
Yeah,
we had 19. Anyway, we had to cancel it because of COVID. They now feel confident that September will work, and they've asked if they could do a 2-day show versus a 1-day show. Of course they can. And they have it up, they were planning to have it up in the mezzanine where the kids area is. And then downstairs, some of the workshops and demonstrations that they were going to offer. You should know that this, our contact, I think she's the president of the Virginia Porcelain Painters, gave us from her own foundation a $5,000 check at the start of the pandemic.
Wow.
I love this woman. I love this woman. She can have a 10-day show as far as I care.
Yeah, that's very nice.
So anyway, that's as much as I know right now. She does beautiful work. When last year Joanna had or whenever we were going to do it, had the poster done, and it was a picture of Gerda's painted vase, huge vase, absolutely exquisite. So
Is she locally based?
yeah, she
Okay.
is. But the organization is all over Virginia.
Just curious.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm still here. I just have to work on tidying up my dinner here so that things don't burn and things get done. So, anything else?
Yeah, I bought a new vacuum.
Go ahead, Barbara.
I bought a new vacuum cleaner today, and actually used it, and it's much better. And the other one is out on the curb, or maybe it's gone.
Somebody
It's
got
gone.
got up really fast.
Good, it's gone, Ellen said. And the other thing, Brenda for her show wants Oasis to buy 2 books. And I don't know who has to decide on that.
What are the books for?
Well, one of them is called The Peacemakers, and I don't quite understand the relevance there. And then one's called A Potter's Progress. So they may be written by the Heatwall family. I don't know. But
Well, what does she want us to do with them?
sell
Keep
them.
forever? Sell them.
Sell
Oh, I
them.
see. Oh, okay.
Well,
Well, she can put them in on consignment.
for 2 months.
No, they won't take them on consignment. I'll send you the email. You guys can vote on it by email.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds
All
good.
right. Sally, are you trying to talk?
She couldn't see that, Sally.
Well, do they have a minimum on how many books we buy?
Well, one of them says minimum order is 1 box of 14 books.
Oh, my God.
They will take returns of up to 6 months, but we pay the shipping back and forth. And the other doesn't have a minimum order.
Yeah, I think that's being a little pushy myself. You won't take consignment. You're telling us how many we have to buy. I mean, come on, we would be willing to try to sell your books. Why doesn't Brenda buy the case of books if she feels so obligated to this? And let us take them on consignment. And then if they don't sell, she can ship them back.
Yeah,
Yay.
I think that's really pushy. Too many.
yeah. I think I talked to her about this a little bit, and it's members of the family, and this is their like craft is writing, and they wanted to participate in the show. And if they want to participate in the show, I think the authors themselves should provide books for those 2 months, and we'll sell them, and give them a cut. But it's just like an art piece of artwork in there. We're not responsible for buying their artwork, and then who knows what we can sell it for or how long we have to keep it to get our money back.
Absolutely. I think
Yeah.
that's absolutely correct.
Yeah, I don't like all of these stipulations. I don't think that's being very fair to us. It's putting too much, you have to buy 14. If you want to ship them back, we'll take them in 6 months. You have to pay shipping, blah, blah. I really don't like this.
It sounds like self-publishing. Naivete.
No, they're not. They're not.
It just sounds like that.
One's the University of Tennessee, and the other is Shadeland House Modern Press. So these are reputable places. And the publishers, these are the publishers' stipulations, not the artists'
Right. So
not
it's
the
in
authors.
alignment with our scale of doing things. We're not their usual outlets.
What I'm saying, if the authors want to participate, then they give us copies of their books and
Yeah.
we'll sell.
Right. Or
Not up
Brenda,
to us to buy
Brenda
them.
can, Brenda can take up a collection from interested parties and they can buy them.
Other
Well-
members of the family. Yeah.
Yeah.
The authors have their own supply that
That's what I
Yeah.
thought.
they could supply us on consignment if that's what they choose to do.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I told her, and she seemed to think that they didn't have a supply of their own books.
That's
Oh,
Oh,
sometimes,
so they wanted us to prepay their order?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
right. No,
Well, I will tell you that there are instances of reputably published books where the author doesn't have it. And one of those is like the Lucy Sims one. That Dale McAllister has no copies of those. The Rocktown Historical Society has all the copies. So I go get them from them. He signs them and then we sell them on consignment.
Huh.
So the author does not always get copies.
Well, but if he wanted to go personally and buy some of his own books, would they give him a discount? I wonder.
We
Not
don't need,
always.
no, I don't think so. We're selling them. It's fine. It's not a
Yeah,
problem.
right. That's fine. That's a local book of local interest. Yeah.
Well, anyway, so we'll just tell her that Oasis is not going to put up money for this. We're happy to sell on consignment, right?
Right.
I think they should explore other options of ways to get them if they want us to sell. 'Em. We don't want to turn into a bookstore either.
Right.
We have a lot of books.
Yeah.
Okay. So we okay now?
Are you okay, Ellen?
Well,
Ellen just was,
I'm ready to stop.
Okay.
wants to
I
go.
had a hard day.
See that man pacing in the background? He heard the oven is finished and he's waiting for his dinner. So
Yeah. Well, I'm in the Oasis restroom, so
Well, thank you for sharing that.
okay.
Glad you turned your camera off.
Okay.
oh, we have much fun. Well, I will look forward to more input about the members meeting. And
Okay.
Barbara, I'll look for your list and I will go with it from there. Thank all of you again for coming and all of your input. It's important and necessary, and I appreciate it.
And
we
thank
will-
you for being president.
You.
Thank you.
My pleasure, right? We'll
We know better than
our
that.
data and we'll have a great members meeting. So I'm looking
Okay.
forward to it. All right.
Yeah, me too.
Everybody
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Edda,
Bye.
Edda.
Bye. Bye. Bye.